Hello, my little goblins. We're back with another special profile, and this time we're going to be doing Sky Striker. And Sky Striker, hold it near and dear to my heart. One of my top favorite decks. And guess what? We got a bunch of new tools, and let's talk about the new tools real quick. So, the first new tool we're going to talk about is Hamp. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. If you get nothing out of this video, I was gonna save this for the recap. I'm just gonna tell you right now, this card's fucking pointless. Like, there's no reason to put this in the deck. This card is the only good thing about this card is it's able to be searched off of Engage, but it's like a kaiju that has limitations on it. And the only other good effect on this is if you summon it to your opponent, like obviously you kaiju your opponent's monster. You can Widow Anchor it and then crash it into another opponent's monster, or take your opponent's monster and crash into this, and then you get a free pop because it can destroy one card your opponent controls. Other than that, it is not worth it whatsoever. Please just don't even bother crafting this. This is a PSA. I really don't think this is worth it. Now let's go into the real card. The reason why this deck has a big revitalize right now is Sky Striker Mobilize Linkage. This card is absolutely busted. Well, I'm not even gonna say it's busted. It's a pretty balanced card, I would say. But this card allows this deck to OTK without going into Selene access code, which is something the deck couldn't do before. And also we have Kagori at 2, which is pretty nuts. We are also running one Pot of Avarice. And this Pot of Avarice, I think with the amount of card value that you're going to be able to pump out with double Engage and with Kagori at 2, I don't think you need to run Pot of Desires. I could be wrong. I could 100% be wrong. But I think you're going to be generating so much card advantage that I don't think you need to run the risk of running Pot of Desires and banishing. Let's say you banish like cards you desperately need. I'd rather just not. I'm so unlucky. I don't want to run that. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty much the main thing. Running Cosmic Cyclones because there's some yucky cards inside the format. Running only 2 imperms just for spacing. We just didn't have enough space to run a third. And we're running some board wipes. This is a going second deck. I want to point that out. I want to preface that. We want to kill our opponent on our turn with an OTK, or we want to just at least break their entire board and then set up our next turn for OTK while preventing our opponent from playing the game. It's a control deck, but at the same time, now with the linkage, we can OTK pretty easy. Alright, so we're going to get into some games. You guys are going to see how this performs, and then we're going to go into the recap and talk about how the deck did. Hello, everybody. We're here with game number 1, and we're playing against the Shogun Man, and he is a scumbag playing Amawanta and Runic Tip. He's playing Runics. He's playing pure Runics. The Floodgate version. And he got an absolute perfect hand. He was able to card-atomize and 5 cards. Pretty neat. He's playing Mind Drain, which makes it so I can't use hand traps, which you might say, hey, Fatzoid, that seems like a shit card. I can't Ash Blossom his thing, which is actually really devastating. So, we immediately get rid of the field spell, because if we don't, he's just going to get free 3 draws, and we can't do anything about it. We go into Hayate, and he is going to go into Huggin. We can't remember. We cannot stop Huggin because we don't have Ash. Can't use Ash. So this is kind of devastating. We said linkage to the graveyard just to get a 3rd spell. Then we're going to Kagori. Kagori is going to be grabbing that engage. I guess we only have 2 spells now, but we have Afterburners. I think we'll be fine. And he pops our card. He waits for our Shizuku to come out. And our last card we can go into is Kaino. So there's literally no point in going into anything. Just fucking hold the Ray so you can Shizuku on his turn. Unless there's some wacky stuff that he's doing. So he plays a Runic Fountain that he got from the Huggins, and then he goes for that. This is beautiful. Everything's going according to plan. He plays Runic Destruction to target and pop this card. I imperm this lane, so I imperm the Mind Drain, right? And now I can Ash when he tries to draw. Mwah. That's a chef's kiss. Mwah. Goodbye. Thank you, loser. And you know what? I give you guys permission to call your opponents losers when they're playing stuff like this. Okay? And yes, I know I did videos on this deck and stuff like that, but I didn't play it. Did I play a version that was this lame? I don't think I was playing Floodgates in my version, so it was more based. Mine was more based than this. Well, he's just dead. We got double engage with engage secondary effect activated. Look how much card. This is why I don't think you need Pot of Avarice. And not Pot of Avarice, part of Desires. You can just draw like a million cards. He was dead though. We had linkage. He was gonna get clapped on. GG. Hello everybody. We're here with game number 2, and a lot of you might be asking, how do you OTK your opponent with? How do you OTK your opponent with Sky Striker? Like, you keep saying it, but how do you actually do it? Well, we're gonna show you this game. This game, I'm gonna be completely honest with you, is not particularly interesting. So he doesn't play. We're literally just showing the OTK. There's nothing special this game. So you go into Ray. He does his Maxi. Who gives a shit? Now, with Ray going to the graveyard, this is very, very, very important. Okay? Going to Hayate. Hayate needs to send Rosé so we have a light and dark in the graveyard for linkage. Okay? You activate linkage. You go into Kaguri. Remember, linkage is not once per turn. So Kaguri in the battle phase. Attack 25. Play linkage again. Go into Shizuku, 25. Boom, your opponent's dead. That is how you OTK very easily with this deck. I just wanted to include this just so you see the easy route of doing it. Your opponent has to have pretty much like an empty board, but easy win when you got it. Hello, we are here with game number 3, and I also do want to point out that in that game, like, I know we were just in whatever. I asked this. You know, there's a lot of stuff to talk about right now. I asked to fight for a Patchwork because I was hoping that he didn't have... This was Copium. Literally Copium at this point. I was hoping he didn't have the Aliber or Branded Fusion. I was like, oh, let me see if I can just stop his play here. It was Cope. The good thing is we top decked this Imperm because we're a lucky little bugger. We're a lucky little bugger. Which is pretty nice. But yeah, what I was talking about with the OTK. Sky Strikers normally, like, if you guys played Sky Strikers in the past, it could never do that. It would never OTK from that position. So, the fact that it can OTK now is actually huge. Normally you had to do some weird shit with Celine, Effect Veiler, and all stuff. And even then, it wasn't really an OTK. You go into Access Code and your attack. You'd use your opponent's monsters like Widow Anchor and shit, you know? But, alright, we force him to use his trap, Branded Banishment. Then we're gonna Ash, because we... By the way, I also want to point out, I have 3 Ashes right now. I can't draw any spells. I have all Ash. Half the deck is spells, but I have, like, every Ash in my hand. Alright, well, we're gonna send Afterburners to the graveyard. This is gonna make us go into Kaguri. This is gonna force him to use Drago. Force. The reason why we send Afterburners to the graveyard is because when we go into Shizuku, we want to be able to grab Engage. And if it engages in the graveyard, you're not going to be able to do that. So we go into Shizuku, it doesn't get negated, and we can grab Engage. It's Royal Rare, so it draws an extra 2 cards. Konami money. And then he's going to activate Aliber again. I save it this time for Branded Diffusion because I decided to not be an ape. I decided to be not be an ape. I really get annoyed by this card though. The Fright for Patchwork. It just feels like they get so much value off of it. Alright, Ray comes back. Ray's gonna go into Hayate. So this is another play. So the reason why we go into Hayate is because we want to hit 3 spells in the graveyard. So our engage lets us draw a card. Because I think it's going to be pretty relevant. And then he plays Brandon in red. So this is a little scary. But at the same time it's not because he can't attack me. I think he thought he could attack me with this. And he couldn't. So, but it's still a clock. We're at 5k life points. So. Effect Failure, pretty bad draw. We do get the Widow Anchor, and we get another Effect Failure. Nice. I like to double up the bad draws. So here we make a misplay. I'm actually I'm brain dead. So that's my excuse. But I don't think we could have killed anyway, but I did lose out on damage. I was supposed, like, I know what I'm supposed to do, but I was like, oh, he has no darks in the graveyard. Right here, we want to be going into Dark the Dark Charmer, and then we want to resurrect one of his darks. But I was like, he has no darks in the graveyard, and I wasn't thinking that, oh, when I send this to the graveyard, he'll have this in the graveyard. Because I'm an idiot. I wasn't playing that good last night, I'll be completely honest. I made some good plays, but, like, overall, I wasn't playing the best. We hit him for 2 hundo. I left, like, a good, like, 1850 damage on the board. Technically, I could have done even way more if I went to Access Code Talker, but honestly, it doesn't make sense doing that because it wouldn't win you the game right there. You're better off like leaving up a negate because this is a free negate for us. So he goes into Fallon of Albaz, and we get to negate it. And he gets Edging Chain, gets a Fright for a Patchwork, and lo and behold, the card that's really annoying to me, he gets it, and now he's 100% going to be able to kill both my cards. And I lost out on 1850 damage, remember that. So now he's going to be able to use Guardian Chimera, pop both my cards. Dark has a good secondary effect, which allows you to grab Ray, which is pretty good. Shit makes my nipples a little moist, if you get what I'm saying. A little lactating. So this is actually a perfect draw. It doesn't seem like it, but we have to hope. So this is a weird thing. Triple Tactics is either bad or a good draw. We have to hope our opponent uses a monster effect. So how do we do that? Well, the easiest way to make sure to use a monster effect, go into Kagori. We're going to grab Engage. And he uses Effect Veiler. I was like, if he has Asher Effect Veiler, he's going to use it on the Engage or the Kagori. So, perfect. Now we can activate Triple Tactics. We steal his monster. And this is why I say it's relevant. He's at 1500. He should be dead right now if I played this game correctly. Which is why I said it was a lethal mistake. Because he should be actually dead. We go into Zeke, and finally we're going to go into Shizuku, which will let us take a breather here. Kagori at 2 is just so crazy. Lets you do so much. And then he just concedes. He has no answer. But like I said, if our opponent top deck Branded Fusion, guess what? We just let him win the game because we're stupid. Hello, we're here with game number 4, and we're playing against... This guy's actually a professional player. He plays with he has 3 brothers that he plays with. West, South, and North Angelia. That was a joke. Wasn't a good one, but it was a joke. So we do our standard play, which is if we don't have... This is a great thing about Linkage. Linkage is just such a good... Oh, we get aft. I want to punch myself. Oh, God. Linkage is just such a great card because, like... Look how great it is. We have a spell in the graveyard. It lets us go into Hayate. And then all we have to do is we just send Ray to the graveyard. Send Ray. Now it's like we played Ray this turn. Which is great. But he ashes me on the end phase, which really sucks. I don't get the value off of Triple Tactics. But our hand's actually looking a little juicier. We got Effect and Ash Blossom and Imperm. So I'm feeling pretty good about what we're doing. Fight. Okay, we're playing as Branded. So they're gonna fuse. And you might be saying, oh, well, at least you have Ash. Well, he's fusing Edging Shame, so he just blocks. Pretty much my Imperm is disappearing off the map. Sets a card, beats my ass. I get to bring back Ray, though. I'm actually pretty good with this exchange, because now we get to go into Shizuku, and we get a free engage. Boom, thank you. Thanks for the engage, East Angelia. Angelia. That's how I think how you pronounce it. We're gonna add Hamp. Hamp sees a fucking rerun. Ooh. Pretty cool. Wait. Wait, you're telling me Gamma would have just been the same thing? Oh, okay. Oh. Neato, I guess. Well, he's gonna go into Zeke. Well, I'm gonna go into Zeke. Try to stop. I pretty much do this to bait out drag. So the thing that's rough here is we draw 2 cards, and I'm like trying to think. I'm like, is there a way of us killing him? And I don't think there is, because if we took this drag, right? Say we take it. Well, let's think this out, because like I was thinking about this for a while. If there's a way we kill him. Because remember, we can't really use linkage. You can't use linkage if you have cards in your main thing. So, take that out of your head. So, we use drag. I mean, we take drag. And also, I think you activate Hornet Drones at the same time of taking drag. Right? We used our... Did we use our normal? Did we use our normal? Yeah, we used our normal for... Effect Veiler. We normal summoned Effect Veiler. So we used our normal. We could go into... At that point, I guess... We can boom boom. Send. To go into Dark. Dark grabs one of his Darks. And then... Out of 2700 attack, 1850, this. Yeah, I missed lethal. So the line, if you guys are wondering, is I play Hornet Drones, right? As I take his monster. So we take his monster, we have Hornet Drones. With Hornet Drones and Zeke, right? We go into Dark. Dark grabs his Edge Imp Chain, correct? Edge Chain summoned. We use Edge Chain and Dark to go into Celine. Celine grabs Effect Veiler. Then goes into Access Code, and we have 2700 and Access Code on the field. Yep. So we fucked up. Because that is definitely not the line of play we take. See, we're gonna go, no. I mean, this is not horrible either. Brandon in red. Yeah, he has no target for Brandon in red either. Yeah, so Brandon in red is just a dead card. So we actually missed lethal here. So this is what I'm saying. Like, I play really quickly. And usually that's completely fine. But like sometimes when I'm on stream and I'm playing really quickly, I just end up making stupid mistakes. Like, yeah, I was making so many like dumb mistakes. But this is just a lesson to you guys to just like kind of take your time. You have 300 seconds on the clock. Take your time to like think it out on exactly what play is going to make the most sense. Because we 100%, if we just took our time with that play, we could have gone for lethal. Okay, and we're gonna go into Kagura again, because card's busting. Card's just absolutely ape shit. Dude, this is so crazy, dude. This card's like galaxy mode, like Giga Chad. crazy. Boom. Special summon. Summon. Go into Dark. Dark grabs this card. Go into Celine. See, this is kind of what should have happened last turn. I mean, minus the Dark. I would have pretty much had this, but the thing is, when you Widow Ink or something, you could, or you steal something, you can still use its effect. So, yeah, I definitely could have killed him. Damn, I'm an idiot. The good thing is you see the misplay when we're recording this. Hello, everybody. We're here with game number 5 against Low Key, Sword Soul, and our hand is trash. I'm going to point that out. We do have Ash at least, so we stopped his emergence. Hopefully that messes up his hand a little. Nope, never mind. It does not. What? Wait, hold the fuck up. What the hell was that? What was the point of doing that shit? You already got rid of my Ash Blossom. Why would you do that? You 100% just go Ecclesia there, right? And then just go into Moye. You lost out on a draw. Since Kaya, dude, he had literally everything. I guess, dude, you could have literally done anything. That was just really fucking strange. Goes into Baron, okay. You go King. I take 12. Alright, Hamp is actually not a bad draw here. So this is where I... Alright, so this... I know exactly what's happening here. This is where I learned something very important about Hamp. You need to... This is something I did not realize last night when I was streaming. And every time I learned more and more about Hamp, I was like, this card's really not that good. We go into Kagari. We're going to grab that Engage. If you're wondering why we're going into Engage, if we always grab Engage when we can, is because it just adds to our spell count here. So see, now we have 3 spells in the graveyard. So I swear to God, I thought the way this card worked was when this card just dies. But it has to be destroyed by battle. Which makes sense considering what the other Sky Striker's effects are. But like, I am so dumb. I did not realize that when I was first doing this. But just to give you an idea, that's how that card works. So I actually don't even think... I think you might be better off just running Gammerseal. Like, if you don't want to use the Ultra Rare Dust on it, just play Gammerseal. Play that Kaiju. Probably make more sense. Because remember, that has a limitation too. You have to have a monster in your extra zone. Which is another dumb limitation. I actually don't mind Boxia sending this back, because now Ray comes back. And I get to keep Shizuku on the field. Look at this. We're saving life points. He adds Moye. First time we're seeing Moye. Loki is going to have an aneurysm soon. So I went to Kana here. I think the reason I went to Kana is I wanted him to continuously use resources in his graveyard. Because he kind of has like a stacked graveyard of a ton of stuff. I wanted him to keep banishing things. It's kind of stupid. Really unnecessary. This was probably, I'm not even going to lie, the most... I was going to try and do like a fancy play here. But like I didn't even have to think about it. Like, because once he did this play that you just seen right there, where he just negated my fucking Ray... It was the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. So now we get to go to Kagari for free. We get to grab Engage. Engage allows us to get a Widow Anchor. And now we get to Widow Anchor both our opponent's monsters. Which equals a free win, if you guys did not know what that meant. All because my opponent's an idiot. If he held this, I would have to actually play this a bit. We still would have won, but we had to play this a bit more nuanced. It would be a little more nuanced than this. Hello, darkness, my old friend. This is game number 5. I mean 6? This is game number 6. Yeah, I'm an idiot. He plays a hero, lives, which is hilarious. So he's at 4k health. I don't know if you guys know this, but the way this deck is now, this deck is so dangerous when your opponent's low health. But like when you're at like 4k, 2k, like dude, you better watch yourself. We can kill people at 8k now. Like you better relax. Our opponent's gonna go into Verte. He wants to just help me out. I actually believe our opponent's playing burn right now. He's playing self burn. He's playing self FTK. He's down to 2,000 life points. Literally at this point, all I have to do is Hayate attack him twice, and we win the game. We're gonna Lightning Storm his back row, which was a match change, and then we're gonna activate double Sky Striker maneuver because we're a scumbag, and this guy's a gamer, and we don't like gamers. We like gamers. If you get my drift, you know. And we're just gonna attack. I really just want to point out even if he was at 8,000 life points, he was dead. GG. Goodbye. Hello everybody and welcome to the recap, and I just want to say thank you for watching this far and please subscribe. I'm not even asking anymore, I'm begging. I need this. I need this a lot more than you. Hit that subscribe button and join our Discord. The shit is lit. It's so cool. Like ever since I went from like a level 1 punk to a level 100 mob boss going into the Discord. Think about that. Also, I stream on Twitch. Why are you going there? You can watch a lot of these games. I think most of these games were on Twitch. So come on down. Alright, other than that, let's see how the recap went. So, how the deck performed? The deck performed actually insanely well. I'm going to tell you one thing, though. Other than the deck performing really well and me making a shitload of misplays last night, because I was still winning games even with the misplays, which is kind of sad. You want to know what deck gave me the most trouble that I don't think I won a single game against, and I played a ton for some reason? Mathmech. Dude, this deck, I don't know maybe if it was me piloting it, but I felt like even when I was piloting it perfectly against Mathmech, they just have too many threats. Like, there's no way for me to stop the game. Like, let's pull it up for a second. Math, I don't know. I'm just going to type in math. So, the problem with this Mathmech deck, right, is, yeah, they have some new cards now, right? One of the big new cards they have now is Circular. This card literally is insane. This card lets them send a Mathmech monster to the graveyard so they can send Sigma, which is insane, or Dionomy or something to the graveyard, and then it lets it special summon itself when it does that. And then when a Mathmech monster is normal summon or special summon while this is on the field, which if you send Sigma, you most likely get to special summon that to the field, you get to add a spell or trap to your hand. Or is it spell or trap or just any card? Yeah, spell and trap from your deck to your hand. And this one card does so much, then it just, I don't know, it was way too much. I just kept getting, because we leave, the problem with our deck is we leave Shizuku on the board, right? And if they have an easy way of going into Final Sigma, right? They go into Final Sigma using Nobly and Multiplication. That's 9k damage. They could do 9k damage to us, and this card is unaffected by cards. So there's nothing we can do to stop it. The only way we beat this deck is if we somehow either OTK them before it's their turn again, or we stop them from going into Final Sigma. And unfortunately, I couldn't do either, because I stopped the Sigma, I would get rid of their tuner, the Sigma, and then they would have the Nabla, and it is what it is. So this was literally the hardest matchup of the night for us. We had a really tough time. Everything else felt fine. I felt like we had a decent matchup against everything else. Obviously, if you play against anti-spell fragrance, you're gonna have a rough time no matter what. Doesn't matter what deck you're playing against. If they flip that card up, your deck's gonna have a rough time. We tried playing evenly matches for a little bit just because of anti-spell fragrance, but it was not worth playing it with for how little of that card you see. And evenly matched isn't really good in the runic matchup either, because a lot of times they just have runic. They'll just have the runic field spell and nothing else. Like if they don't have floodgates, because they're casting everything from their hand. So it didn't really. So I ended up swapping those for the Cosmic Cyclones because they at least add to the spell counter. And then other than that, Surgical Striker Hamp, like I said, card is not worth an ultra rare. If you have this card already, use it. But if you don't feel obligated to use it, you can replace this card with Gamma Seal, or even just add another card to your deck. It doesn't really matter too much. Maybe another Effect Veiler, or you got another Imperm, or you can just add a Gamma Seal, or you can add like a third Rose. All those are fine options. Like I said, with how expensive some of these decks that Konami are making, like I don't blame you if you don't want to craft this, because this card just not really that necessary. This card, unfortunately, you're gonna need 3 of. Sky Striker Linkage, you 100% need 3 of. Card is nuts. Card's really good. So I definitely recommend that. I think this is a good list, though. I really do. I felt very confident in it. Other than the misplays I was making, the deck did what it was supposed to do. I just think that Math Mech matchup is very tough. I really do. I think it's a very difficult matchup, because if you can't stop every ounce of the way, every inch of the way, you're just going to completely just fumble the bag and die. So, yeah, it is what it is. On a tier list, tier 1, 2, 3, I actually think Sky Strikers might be at like a 1.5 or 2 bare minimum. I don't think it's quite there at 1, but I definitely think the deck got way better. And that might sound crazy, but having the extra consistency of having linkage, we never have a problem with not having an opening link monster. And the second part is Kagori going to 2. Those 2 things just brought this deck up so much. And I think if you play this deck, you'll really enjoy it. On a 1 to 10 scale, I think we're probably going to give this like an 8.5. Like a very solid 8.5. Possibly pushing 9. But I think 8.5 is a good answer for it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. And if you guys have any questions, or what deck do you want to see next? Do you want to see Math Mechs next? You want to see Heroic next? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments what you guys want to see next. So, goodbye.